Today we are going to see two games, actually one, between Fischer and Petrrosian 1951. This game was played in the candidates final. So let's start the game. Fischer was white. The game started e4, c5, knight f3, e6, d4, cd4, knight d4, and now a6, the calm Sicilian. Here the main line is not in the latest but the masters. Oh, A6 is the main line. I thought the Taimanov is the main line. Oh my god, has the A. So, well, Taimanov has. No, Taimanov is bigger than A6 move. He has 30,000 and Taimanov has 30,804. So, there's also this move knight to f6, which leads to the normal French variation. Then you have options. Knight c3 is the main line. Then you have to choose between, after knight c3, knight c6, 4 knights variation, 9,000 games, or d6, 14,000 games is Scandinavian variation. So this is the mainstream theory. A6 was played. Now there are two main lines, knight c3 and bishop d3. Bishop d3 is the main line. Now there are moves bishop c5 and knight f6. Queen c7 is a little bit of a sideline, we can say. But in the game, it was played knight to c6. Then theory was not that developed, and people followed the opening principles. You can see this game over here. Knight into c6. D into c6 is the main move, but B into c6 was played, capturing towards the center. Yeah. And now short castles. d5. Now of all now black has only one advantage, that he has intact pawn structure and he has the center. We can see this this pawn structure as intact, and a6 is not really an weakness, we can say. Yeah. But here c4 was played, good move, getting the pawn up to action. Knight to f6, and now knight to c3. Bishop to e7, c into d5 is the main line, but after knight to f6 there was played c d5, the second main line. C d5 was the e d5, and if we see knight into d5 is the main line, the better move, but e into d5 was played in the game, a mistake. Why? Because it weakens this file. Yeah, gets an isolated pawn, then allows options of queen a4. This is not good. Now there are rook e1 check, queen a4 check, and knight c3. Two games are played on this. One is between Filipenko Alexander and I don't know who, and one is between Fischer and Petrrosian. Bishop e7 was played in the game. Now there are 16 games, it's a transposition. There's queen a4 move, there's bishop g5 move, there's bishop e3 move. But in the game, queen a4 check was played, getting the queen out to the game. Usually, it's not considered a good idea to bring the queen to the action, but now this is an exception. Queen to d7 was played. Bishop d7 allows some queen d4 kind of ideas, and this pawn is under trouble. Knight d7 loses immediately to knight into d5. King f8 has the king very weak, so it's not an option to consider. So queen d7 was played in the game. Average rating is 20. Now rook e1, queen into a4, knight into a4, bishop to e6, bishop to e3, and now there are two moves, short castle and knight d7. Short castle was played in the game. Bishop to c5. Now there's the game between Fischer and Petrrosian, the game we are watching, and between Yehuda Grunfeld and Alexander Ginsberger. So both parted ways. One took on c5, one played rook f8. Rook f8 was played in the Fischer Petrrosian game. Bishop into e7, rook into e7, b4, advancing with the pawn, creating space on the queen side. King f8, getting the king to action. Now knight to c5, attacking the pawn, and more importantly getting the knight to a very good spare. Bishop to c8, and now there's f3 move. Very good move. Now our idea is to get the king to d4. Here, king d3 to d4. Rook e7 was played, passively defending the pawn. Rook e5, nice move, getting the file for ourselves, and then this king f2, king e3, king d4 will follow. Bishop to d7, and now the game changer move which shook the world. Now people were thinking, okay, he will continue rook a1 or king f2, king e3, king d4, but no one expected knight into d7. This is completely off guard because you exchange your good knight for the bad bishop. It seems like Fischer blundered the tactic, but no, this is all very concrete. So Fischer's strategy is to exchange everything, because the more he exchanges, the more the weaknesses highlight, like a6 and d5. That's why his goal was to exchange, and he exchanged the piece, no matter how the bishop, no matter how the knight. So rook c1 was played, rook to d6, rook to c7, knight to d7, rook to e2, and now g6 was played, getting the pawn into action, getting f5, king to f2. Now the king is in the safe, and he will look to go like here. h5 was played, and f4, nice move, because now he has played h5, and now Fischer wants to play f5 and wants to weak these pawns. h4, this is not, now he is aiming for h3, but this is not good. Why so? Because this pawn is little bit too far. King f3, threatening king to g4, winning the pawn. f5, preventing the king, but now king to e3, the king comes from d4. d4 check, checking the king. The king goes back to d2. This is a very safe place for the king, and bishop guarding the d4 passed pawn. Knight to b6. Now the knight wants to go to d5 and things like that. Rook e7, threatening rook f7 check. Knight to d5, attacking the e7 and c7 pawns. Rook f7 check. Checking the king again, king e8, and now it's forced mate. How? Because this king is very weak. This 7th rank is controlled by white, so we just need a way to exploit it. Rook b7, white first gets away from the threat of the knight. Knight into f4, black wants to grab a pawn and also wants to grab the g2 and now bishop to c4 with the idea of rook h7 to h8. Let's suppose you take on g2, then rook h7, then we can play, if he plays rook f6, this is the one of the most stubborn defenses. Then rook h8 check, rook f8, bishop f7, king d8, bishop into f8 check. So we can say after bishop c4, black resigned. So well, this was the game. So today is Vaishak Shukla Dashmi. Yeah, episode 811. Our target is 900. Okay, so this was the game. I hope you liked. Don't forget to click this bell icon. Thank you.